Hi guys, welcome to a new video. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you very much for clicking onto this video. Here we go. Thank you very much for clicking onto this video. I hope you would love and enjoy the content on this channel and you'd love it enough to subscribe. And on this channel, the content that we most likely do focus on is lifestyle and travel, sit downs here and there, and also some Makoti diaries. When I go to my in-laws, I like to capture that and just show the young girl, or like even it's just another Makoti, how the rural area life is. So if you are into that content, please don't hesitate to ensure that you do subscribe and join in this family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much, babe, for coming back and clicking it onto another video. So before we go any further, let's just try and finish off all the admin. Please do ensure that you do follow me on Instagram so that you are always constantly up to date with what's happening. So if I do travel, you are able to be the first to see the content and like sort of follow through, so that should there be things that I don't share on YouTube, you are able to catch it first glimpse on Instagram. On Instagram, I am at Mrs_Manyamalala. Or you can just search for my full name. So for you guys, Manyamalala on Instagram, but I'll put my handle right here. Yeah, and then please do ensure that you do like this video. It helps me boost up the algorithm of the video so that I can be able to reach more of you, and more of people have not discovered me yet. So by you liking, you commenting on this video, and you sharing this video allows me to reach people who have not discovered me yet. So okay, admin done. As you would have seen by the title of today's video, today we are talking about the recent travel that we took. We went to Barcelona and then we went to France. For anyone who has not caught those vlogs yet, there's about 4 vlogs that have been uploaded onto the channel, 2 for Barcelona and 2 for France. So you can watch this and then go binge onto those videos so that you get to see the experience, so that you get to experience the 2 beautiful cities with me, countries with me, and how I got to experience them. So let's get into the questions. I asked you guys some questions. So this was the post, if you had seen it. This was the post on Instagram, the story on Instagram, where I asked you guys if you have any questions of anything. I'm shooting a Q&A this weekend on the Europe trip. Share your questions if you had any, but I didn't manage to shoot that particular weekend, and I'm doing so today. So the first question is, how much should a couple budget for a week trip? So one, it would most definitely, oh, I love how it's turning. I love the lighting. Okay, back. Let me come back. So as I was saying, per person, so the first question is, how much should a couple budget for a week trip? So it's, I'd always say that it's dependent on the destination that you're traveling to, because of different currencies, and also bearing in mind that our currency gets weaker with time to time, and it also depends on what time of the year are you traveling during, peak or off-peak season for that specific country or city that you are traveling to. So for Europe, we didn't travel during peak season. It was like slightly off-peak. It was nearing autumn, closer to the colder times of Europe. So because we travel in September, and the exchange rate also plays a factor. The number of days that you like, but for a week, and then not staying in the heart of like your Eiffel Towers, your Arc de Triomphe. We paid about 12,000 Rand. So for Paris, we paid 13,000 Rand for our hotel. That is exclusive of the city tax that you do pay, but it's also dependent whether the hotel that you're staying at does cover it within the booking or not. So I'm just gonna try and base everything that I do say based on our recent trip, which is a Europe trip. So we paid about 13,000 Rand, but that was, yeah, we paid about 13,000 Rand for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, for 5 days in Paris, 4.5 days, because we checked out on the 5th day in Paris. So you could budget more or less that much. I do hear that accommodation that side of Europe is quite pricey, so you can do your research and plan and try and ensure that you do plan ahead of time so that you are able to catch bookings at a cost that works for you. And maybe let me try and ensure that I answer all the cash or money related questions. How much extra cash did you have to be able to get clothes, or you had planned to do shopping? Okay, side note, if you're watching this for the first time and you haven't watched the previous vlogs, my husband's luggage was missing. It did not arrive with us in Paris, so we had to buy clothes for him. So on an average day, we budgeted about 1,500 rand to spend. I won't say for per person, but more or less plus minus 1,500 rand to spend. And we had tried to cut some costs when we were in Barcelona so that we are prepared for Paris, because we know it's quite an expensive city. So that's how we were able to sort of afford to buy him clothes. We had to pinch into some of our future planned money, which was money that we needed to spend when we got back to South Africa. So that's how we were able to afford that. But on a day-to-day, I'd say maybe budget 1.5. That's if your hotel doesn't have breakfast included into the booking. But even if it does, you could necessarily budget that if you want to eat at high-end restaurants, or you want to try out tourist attractions as well, but maybe try and up the budget to probably like 2K, 2.2, depending on the attractions that you're going to do. Okay, another one about costs. Are you guys saved up if you used a travel agency or not? Okay, I think this is where we should have started. We didn't use a travel agency this time around. We planned everything ourselves. We tried to reach out to Pen Travel, which is the travel agency we used when we traveled to Thailand. However, like, the costs appeared to be a bit pricier, and we also wanted to experience having to book a trip ourselves. So we went on to booking.com, we went on to Agoda, we went on to Airbnb, the likes, searched on hotel websites as well to sort of see how much costs are. And our accommodation thoughts were to be sort of not too far from the central places where what we wanted to see, and also being mindful of how the public transport is and what public transports will use. So that's what we sort of bear in mind. And when it comes to saving, guys, it's tough because I don't always preach what I do. I'd say maybe cut out on going out. So if you know that you probably would eat out 3 to 4 times a week, or like sit down at restaurants, maybe try and cut that out. But for us, we've sort of created a budget where we ensure that, okay, this much goes into traveling, like in accordance to our monthly savings. We put a portion to traveling, and then we are able to ensure that we do cover everything that we need throughout the month. So traveling is like at the top of most things that we do. But what I always say is that try and prioritize what you want and have a goal, and also sort of have like a ball figure that you're going to work with, that you know, okay, in April, let's say now you're planning to travel again in April. So in April, you need probably 40,000 rand to travel, or September, let's give it a year, September. So that would mean that on average, you need to save about 2.5 if you are traveling in September, bearing in mind that now it's October. So about that much, so that you are able to take into account travel, accommodation, and all those costs, and also visa costs, because those costs, you feel those before you start to see all the other costs. So you start planning out everything. Sort of, you create a travel itinerary on booking.com. So what we did was to sort of try and save accommodation so that we have an idea of how much accommodation would be, and then we save that or book those accommodation with that note of pay on arrival. So that also gives you ample time to sort of ensure that you do save up to the amount that you need, and you don't have to pay as and when you need to go do your visa booking. So that's what works for us, as well as flights. But what we did with the flights, we just paid for our flights the moment we realized that, okay, we needed to go and submit for visa. We didn't do a save a spot for us because we didn't really know where to do that. But yeah, we try and ensure that we save up. Both of us, we have a goal, we know what we want, and we know where our next destination is, so we save up towards that. How long can we plan a trip for? It depends on when you're wanting to travel, and then once you've also determined how much you're needing to pay for your trip is what will also sort of encourage you to start planning for the trip sooner rather than later. So once you decide on the destination and check out the requirements for the destination, would always assist you to actually fast track the planning process or slow down the planning process. Also, to travel to Europe, you need a visa. It costed us, I think, about 4,000 Rand. We went to the one in Centurion. So all inclusive, those costs were also for courier fees. However, we had to go and pick up our visa ourselves because we were running out of time. It was nearing closer to travel dates, and we just wanted to ensure that we have everything in place. So maybe budget about 4,000 Rand per person for visa costs. And then booking, so the next question would be, should you book your flights prior? So I think the best bet would just try and use a travel agency and maybe create a mock. They can sort of create a mock booking process for you, I think. Don't mock me. I think they can. And then you'll just pay a certain fee, so they reserve the flights for you. You don't even necessarily even have to do the entire travel booking with them. You can just do the flights reservation, and then you just pay a fraction of the price. I think you can also do it directly with airlines as well, and then you're able to just submit that. And if you would have selected an accommodation with booking.com or any other accommodation booking service, and sort of select that so that you don't fork out money prior to getting your visa approved. So I think that those would be the next best ways of doing it. And then if your visa doesn't get approved, I'd suggest that you try and apply for your visa probably 3 months ahead of time, and then you constantly just check up on them and see the status of your visa, so that should your visa come back with a disapproval status, you can inquire and see what the reasons are. And if it's reasons that you are able to change within the time frame between the time you receive it and the time you need to travel back, that would be best bet, instead of submitting your visa a month before you travel. And the other question was, do airlines pay if they lose your luggage? Yes, they do pay. If they try and ensure by all means that they did not get your luggage, it's nowhere to be found, they have to pay. But one thing I'd always suggest is to ensure that you have travel insurance. I cannot not stress this enough. Have travel insurance that will cover everything. It was unfortunate for us that we had travel insurance with our bank, that because we used the credit card, and it was an added benefit that if we used them, we would automatically qualify for travel insurance. And it wasn't our primary bank, because our primary bank would definitely do that. And then we also had travel insurance that we bought through, I think, Hippo. We bought it through the services of Hippo, so you could always shop around there and see which travel insurance works for you. So those are the most important things, to ensure that you've got travel insurance, and insurance that will cover up everything that would be like the amount that is needed by the country that you are traveling to. Yes, yeah, that is it's uttermost important to ensure that your travel insurance covers everything. It covers from departure here in South Africa, and not just for when you are that side. Have medical aid if you are able to, so that should your medical aid not be able to cover, then the travel insurance could step into place. So try and ensure that you've got all those things in place. Should anything happen and you're needing medical assistance, or you miss a flight, and you ensure that your travel insurance is able to cover that. And then maybe just try and learn the languages. Before you travel out, try and learn the languages. I think it helps a lot being able to just say a few things. I struggled a bit in Spain, but to the assistance of my husband, because he can say a few phrases in Espanol. So he said a few things, like when we were ordering, like from his little, just ordering water or cool drinks, so he would just hoy in a phrase, and I was gobsmacked. I was just like, how dare you? But try and learn a few phrases that are sort of touristy friendly, like asking for directions, wanting to order something, wanting to know where the ladies are, the toilets are. So such things are quite important, like saying thank you, greetings, and the likes. So try and learn the phrases. And when it comes to French, I did not even attempt, because I was just like, no ways. But one thing I ensured was to ensure that I use Google Maps, guys, was my friend. Google Maps was my friend. I just want to show you. So you literally just search for Google Translate. I'm going to record my screen and then I'll just put it up here. So you go to Google Translate and then you select the language, or you can do an inverse with English to French, and then you can say, where is the train? The train, yeah, station. And then you can always it translates instantly for you, and then you're able to just show the person, or you can even do like a speaker.
Où est la gare?
Yeah, whatever. And then if you want to say it in English,
where's the train station?
Exactly. So you can even like record, or even put the phone closer to the person's mouth and sort of record, so that it gives you where the train station is. So it's simple things like that. If you are not able to pick up on the language like I did, it will help you. And then the other thing is that it has a functionality. You see where the camera is, it has a functionality of camera. So you could always just hover, like you click on that icon and then hover over the phrase, or even if it's just a labeling thing that you're just wanting to understand what it is. It helped me a lot, so that you can sort of understand what you're buying, or what does it say. So it's like an instant translation instead of retyping it. So you just hover the camera over it, and then it auto translates as you're looking on the screen. So that's another thing. And then when it comes to SIM cards and ensuring that you've got network, we only bought a SIM card when we got to Spain, and then ensured that we were able to put on international roaming for that SIM card, so that we're able to use it in Paris, and we use the same SIM card from Spain to France. But I think going forward, we'll try and ensure that we just probably top up our data enough, and put on international roaming, and just sort of try that out and see how it works. I mean, it's different for each country, and it's different costs for each network provider. So maybe it's things that we could always research and see what would work best for each one of us. I think I've answered most of the questions. I didn't get a lot of questions. And then yeah, once again, we did not use a travel agency this time around, but if you want to, I think I've seen Yellow Hat Travels. I've got an experience with Pen Travel, so I'd suggest maybe you use Pen Travel and try them out. I love the fact that you're able to sort of space out your payment towards it's like a lay-by option, where you sort of curate when you want to travel, and you get to choose accommodation. Well, it's based on their partnerships. You select the type of accommodation that you're wanting to stay in. So yeah. Okay guys, that's it for today. I'm really struggling with my camera. Thank you very much for watching thus far. If you have any questions, please do ensure that you do comment down below, and I'll most definitely do comment and respond to your comments. And then if I don't have any certainty, I'll just let you know whether you can reach out to these people, or just search on Google if I'm not able to assist. Thank you very much for watching thus far. And if you've watched this far and you haven't liked this video yet, please do give this video a huge thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm. Thank you very much. Bye for now. See you on the next vlog.